I realized, it's been a minute since I've done a poetry reading. I did my first reading in 1993, I think. So it's nice to see the culture persists. All right, I'm going to do a couple of poems now. We're going to start a little nice and a little light, but it's going to go dark. But it's going to come back around at the end. So please trust the process and don't jump off the ride halfway. All right? All right, first poem. A warm day in October. Some days are good. Some days you've done your work and you're reading a good book about Thoreau, and it's a warm day, and you had a good salad for lunch with good cold brew coffee. You take the dog for a walk, and there's a slightly warm breeze. It's a warm day in October, and he finds an old tennis ball, and you play fetch. Some days are good. You feel it in your chest and opening, and you know it doesn't last. And that's okay, because this is enough. These few minutes justify the entire universe. You think of times years ago when you thought about ending it, checking out early, and you didn't. And today justifies that. Nothing special, no fireworks, no ritual, no celebration, no lover in your arms, no riches, no special success. Only the universe. And maybe a poem coming on. Oh yeah, that's enough. On a warm day in October, call it a blessing. The kami of the land have smiled today, or the great mystery gave you a wink, or a fortuitous surge of electrochemical phenomena between your ears. You think of other moments like this, a few. Standing in the woods in Mino, outside Osaka. Walking around Boston Harbor. Watching the wind in the trees across from a gas station. Random, maybe, strikes of the divine. You take little souvenirs from each and tuck them away in your heart. It's just enough to know that this has happened, justifying it all. Some things you just can't fix. We talked around it, not about it. The elephant in the room, the corpse in the basement a year ago. I couldn't leave Mom alone today, so I drove her to the library and the grocery store. Neither of us mentioned my brother's death. Not directly. I said something about leaving my Christmas lights up a little longer so I would turn them off today. She said something about the color of the flowers she bought with her groceries. While she was out, I tried to fix her slow-running bathtub drain, but I failed. Some things you just can't fix. Now maybe you haven't noticed. Maybe you haven't noticed. I said, maybe you haven't noticed, but it's all falling down. It's all falling down. The bombs are falling down on the people, turning bodies into bloody lumps of gristle. And maybe you haven't noticed, but the buildings are falling down, crushing children in the rubble. And maybe you haven't noticed, but freedom is falling down. Freedom gets in the way of the bombs falling down. Freedom could make the empire fall down so quick. Beat it over the head with a shovel and bury it. And maybe you haven't noticed, but the trees are falling down. The trees are falling down. Everything green is turning brown. Maybe you haven't noticed, but we make war on the planet, and then we wonder why we can't stop making war on each other. National boundaries become lacerations on the biosphere, and we're like a woman I once knew whose sanity was falling down, so she cut her own flesh with razors. So the bombs fall down, and the people fall down, and the trees fall down, and our hearts fall down. And our hearts fall down heavy with the load. But be at peace. Be at peace. Because once it's all fallen down, life will still rise from the ashes, green shoots poking up from the rubble. Because life endures. If we nuked the planet until it glowed, killed every human being, still life would survive. Life endures in the cold, in the vacuum, in the heat, in the deeps. Life endures. Life does not fall down. And others would come to replace us as we replaced the dinosaurs. Maybe the squirrels. Maybe the squirrels would evolve into hyper mammals with 6-chambered hearts and armor-plated skin. And they would love. Because love endures. Love does not fall down. We make war on the planet. We make war on life. We make war on love. But it's a war we can't win. So surrender now. So I say, surrender now. Surrender to life. Surrender to love. And don't fall down. Don't fall down, but rise up. Rise up. Rise up. Thank you very much.